Hello, my peeps, and welcome to another power-packed Phillips podcast. Survived my camping trip. Yeah, buddy. Please take a moment to read your MSAs on the screen. And of course, the most important MSA, I will put in a shameless plug for the Girl Scout cookies. Pay attention.
Girl Scout cookies, $3.50 each. Buy a box for my dad, please. You will not get extra credit.
Nice. I have them for sale. Let me know what kind you want. Only $3.50 if you listen to the jingle.
Girl Scout cookies, $3.50 each. Buy a box for my dad, please. You will not get extra credit.
You're going to need a piece of graph paper for today's lesson. So please take out a piece of graph paper. You're going to go up 10, right 10, left to -10, and down to -10. If you're at school watching this, you can grab a stapler, staple the graph paper into your spiral. If you're at home, grab a stapler, staple it into your spiral, or staple tomorrow. Please write down your spiral. This is lesson 7.6. We are solving systems, but this time our systems are not equations. Our systems involve inequalities. So here we have two inequalities. We call that a system of linear inequalities. If you would, please take a moment to write down the system of inequalities on your paper. I'm going to solve this inequality first by graphing it. Remember, when I say graphing it, this time I'm not on a number line, I'm talking about on the coordinate grid on graph paper. So I'm going to pretend that the inequality is an equal sign. Pretend it's an equal sign. So I'm going to pretend this is an equal sign. I have y equals -x minus 2. Minus 2 is my y-intercept. My slope is really -1 with a denominator of 1. Remember, your slope is a rise and a run. So since my slope is negative, since it's a -1, I'm going to go down 1 and right 1. So we'll start at -2. We'll go down 1 and right 1. So on your graph paper, let's start at -2. Go down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1. You can put a dot along any of these spots, and then we're going to make a line. Is it solid or dotted? Well, obviously it's going to be dotted, but the reason why it's dotted, there is not an equal sign there. The next thing I'm going to do, choose an ordered pair that is not on the line. So if I come back up here, 0, 0 is not on the line. So I'll put 0 in for y and 0 in for x. When I do that, I get 0 is greater than -2. Is 0 greater than -2? Yes, this is a true statement. 0 is greater than -2. So since it's true, we will shade the side lightly that is true. We always say shade, the true side. Now I'm going to graph this inequality. Y is less than or equal to 3x plus 6. 6 is going to be my y-intercept. I'm going to make this a fraction by giving it a denominator of 1. So my slope is 3 over 1. Since 3 is positive, I'm going to go up 3 and write 1. Up 3 and write 1, and we will start at positive 6. Your y-intercept is positive 6. We're going to go up 3 and write 1. Up 3 and write 1. So we could put a dot. We'll put our second line here. Remember, the first one was a dashed line because there was no equal underneath it. This is going to be a solid line because there is an equal underneath it. So you should have a solid line. Now I'm going to choose an ordered pair that is not on the line. The easiest one to pick would be 0, 0 because it is not on the orange line. Put in 0 for y and 0 for x. When you plug and chug, you get 0 is less than or equal to 6. This is true. 0 is not equal to 6, but 0 is less than 6. This is true. This would be our true side. This would be our false side. So, since we have a lot going on here, I'm going to cover up this part. And I'm going to say, well, which side do I need to shade on? Well, I need to shade on the true side. So I'm going to grab the red and I'm going to shade to the right of the orange line. I'm going to shade to the right of the orange line. I'm shading to the right of the orange line. We certainly have a lot of shading going on here, so this can get confusing really quick. So, whenever you're graphing a system of inequalities, your solution is the shaded area that overlaps. Your solution is the shaded area that overlaps. So I don't have any overlapping between the purple and red here, but I do have overlapping between the purple and red here. So technically, I'm going to use a highlighter. This, I'm just going to color in a little darker because this area is where the shading overlaps. This area is where the shading overlaps. So you just darken up the area where the shading overlaps. And if I cover up this part, and then I get rid of this right here, it should be pretty easy to see that the area where the shading overlaps is right here. Please write down your summary to lesson 7.6. What are you going to do? Number 1, you're going to graph the first inequality and decide which side to shade. Remember, if it has an equal sign underneath it, it's solid. No equal will be dashed. Second thing you're going to do, graph the second inequality and decide which side to shade. Last step, darken the shading where the two shadings overlap. So you're looking where the shading overlaps, darken that area. This is your solution. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya. Wouldn't wanna be ya. Booyah.